Hi, I'm Elizabeth with Wolle's Yarn Creations. I'd like to show you how to knit a rug or a carpet today. It's the ultimate stash buster, and now that it's getting a little colder outside, it always also will keep you warm while you're knitting it. It's a lot of fun to knit and super, super easy. So let me show you mine before I talk about what yarn you need, needle size, pattern, and so on. So this is mine. As you can see, it's getting big. It's about 2/3 done. And I chose colors that change gradually. I know, can you see how they change a little bit? Let me show a little bit up closer. There it goes, a little lighter. So you can use any colors, any yarn. As you can tell from mine, I used something really colorful with a little dark color in the background, but you can go tone in tone, all blues, all red. You can go colorful, whatever you like and whatever you have at hand. So let's talk about yarn. I'm using 6 skeins at the same time, something like that. These two are my background colors. Those are sport weight yarns. The color is called Global, and it's cotton sport weight going from brown to green to dark blue. And I use 2 of them that I have a darker background. And then I'm using 4 colors like that. These are fingering weight yarns just to get colors, and they can be any colors. They can change randomly. You can use something dark, something light. There can even be little leftovers, like if you have a little tiny bit from a project, whatever you have at hand. It can be different materials. These are all cotton. You can use cotton bamboo, cotton silk merino. As I said, whatever you have at hand. It's a great stash buster, and it doesn't matter if it's a partial skein. It might actually be fun to get a little randomness in there. So I'm using these 4 together with the other 2, so 6 skeins total. That's a lot of yarn. And when I'm knitting it, so you're holding everything together like that. It's pretty thick, and that's what we want. I cast on 115 stitches on a size 11 needle, US 11, which is about 7.5 millimeter, I believe. And you're holding all the strands together. As I said, it's really thick and a multiple ply yarn. And then you're just knitting it. So what I'm doing is just plain garter stitch. Every row is knitted. Super easy. Takes a little bit getting used to with all the strands and the thick needles. But it's a fun knit, and since it's so thick, you're making quick progress. Garter stitch is every row is knitted. Just plain simple knitting. And if you have used up a skein, like when you're using leftover skeins, you just attach the next skein and keep on going. The edges are really nice because the yarn is so thick, so you don't need to do any slip stitches, just plain knitting. Every row is knitted, making these garter stitch ridges. And as I said, my colors change. They do change. It's not very visible. It might not be that visible on the screen, but they do change, and it's a lot of fun seeing the slow gradations. Takes a lot of yarn, obviously, and that's why I call it the ultimate stash buster. So I'm planning to make mine with 115 stitches on the needle. That gives me a width of 45 inches. And I plan of making mine about 65 to 70 inches long. So I want a like a medium-sized rug for the living room. If you use yarn like I'm using, as I said, with 2 sport weight skeins and 4 of the fingering weight skeins all held together, so 6 colors held together, you need about 4.5 pounds of yarn, or about 4,500 yards. This is highly adaptable, of course. If you're using a little thicker yarn, you will need a little less. You can make the carpet smaller, cast on less stitches. As I said, I have 115 stitches on the needle. You can do 100. You can make it as long or as short as you want to. Very flexible, very fun project. As I said, go stash diving, see what you have at hand, something you like to use. Happy knitting.